You've only heard about 10,000 times that you need to be focused. Now, what does that actually mean? Because I don't mean focusing on your work. If you can't focus on your work, go back to preschool. I don't know. I mean, they don't really teach focus in school either. But go somewhere. Don't take drugs. But just figure out what you're going to do. Stay focused at work. What I'm talking about is like on a macro version of focus, meaning like a big picture. So, for example, here's where you're starting. The end is your goal, right? If you take that path, it's going to take way longer and be way suckier than if you take this path. Assuming you know what the path is, right? Assuming you can make a good plan, but don't change the plan in the middle of the plan. So I learned that this year, right? Here's what I did. I started this year, right? Really good, had a solid plan to grow. I was gonna start a second location, probably a little bit overzealous there, but whatever. Had a really good plan to grow. Went to an event, right? Changed my plan completely, right? Not the event's fault, my fault. Changed my plan completely. Came home, executed the completely different plan. Then talked to another guy who I really respect and like. Cool, changed my plan again. Then talked to another guy, changed my plan again. And then I just kept changing my plan all season long. So I basically went down the rabbit hole of like, oh, I'm going to do fertilization. Oh, I'm going to do pest control. Oh, I'm going to focus on marketing. Oh, I'm going to focus on this, then profitability, then this. And I ended up doing this thing. And what ended up is my arrow was facing that way. So now I got to turn my arrow around and point it back that way because I got sidetracked focusing on different things and changing the goalpost, is like changing the end goal, as well as just changing what I was doing and not staying focused and lasered in. And I actually thought that I was above this, right? I thought that, I'm listening to Alex Hormozi talk about girl in the red dress, Cool. Oh, I'm not getting distracted by the girl in the red dress. I'm still in the same industry. I'm still in the green industry. Guess what? There's like 50 freaking services in the green industry, right? Like I bet if we just cut lawns, here's a fun thought experiment. I was talking to a friend of mine about this, right? Even though lawns aren't a particularly profitable service, like if I just cut lawns and did a really, really freaking good job at it, like I could probably have a bigger business than I have today and be more profitable. Just doing one thing, crazy operationally efficient at it, had, managers that just only mowers, like maybe, probably, right? Would it be better if I did only fertilization? Definitely. Would it be better if I did only pests than fertilization? Definitely, right? And then you keep leveling up services, but it's like, man, like I should definitely just focus on one thing. And so, we've kind of always kept our core services, but I just took my eye off the ball. And so, stuff started to go out of whack. So now I'm 100% lasered back in. I'm focusing on sales, focusing on the one business unit of full circle services, not changing anything, not doing anything fun, doing lawn mowing, doing landscaping, hourly cleanups, some big cleanups just because it's easier to sell. And so, we're looking to sell more work. So, I'm going out and bidding, at cleanups if clients want it. We do most of them hourly though. Basically lawn mowing, hourly cleanups. We do have a fertilization pest control side that's separate. I'm not giving any attention to that except to make sure the jobs get done right. We had a customer stop in the office today actually and complain about his burnt lawn. The door's right there. We're fixing it. Anywho, that aside, it's like, right, but that's another distraction. That's something that I did to myself, which is like, instead of focusing on what I was doing, there was a guy here talking about how, the fertilizing, because we don't have the, the perfect training for our team, there was some burn issues with the lawn. Now that it was an equipment issue, but still, same difference. Like, it's the focus aspect, right? Like, how much focus does it take for us to do, mowing, landscaping, enhancement work, pest control, fertilization, and all the different marketing for all of them? Like, it seems simple enough. When I say it like that, maybe not, and it feels simple enough. The problem is, all of a sudden, it's not simple when there's a day when this person doesn't show up, and then you have a client complaining over here and an equipment issue over here, and it all just adds up when it's like a lot of weight. Whereas if you just have one service, it's just super simple, super easy. Now, obviously, as you grow as a business, you can kind of think about adding services, but man, like, it's definitely something I learned this year, is just focusing on what we're actually good at and doing it. And if I want to change directions, that's fine, but make a plan and stick to the plan. Like, once the year has been planned, unless there's an external force that changes and I get permission from a couple key people in my life, I'm not changing the plan this upcoming year. Like, we have a plan that's pretty much laid out for next year, right? Basically just focusing on profit is really, to be honest with you guys, like focusing on profit, focusing on sustainable business, making a ton of profit, and then figuring out what we're going to do after that, whether it's reinvesting, whether it's, getting into a different industry, whatever that looks like. But we need profit to do any of that stuff. So that's what our big focus is next year, right? It was going to be profit this year, and then, just got sidetracked at the beginning of the year, got, dissuaded. And that was a lesson I had to learn. It's a skill, character trait, or belief, there's a quote over there, that I need to work on, right? It was a skill that I had to get better at. And I won't say I've learned the skill, but I've identified the weakness that I had previously in the skill of focus in a macro sense. And so now that's being fixed. Now I'm fixing that. And so I'd highly encourage you to take a look at what you're doing and really ask yourself, I don't know what I should ask you. I'm not going to try to virtue signal over you. Like, I don't know anything, but I shouldn't say that. Bad belief to speak over myself. But I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't want to consult you. I don't think I have the qualifications to do so. But just double check, make sure you're being focused, make sure you know your end goal and you're sticking with your plan. You're not going to change it up to try to, even though there's ways that might get there faster, you don't get to take shortcuts, Goggins. That's a David Goggins thing. Like, you don't get to take shortcuts. There's no shortcuts for you. But yeah, so appreciate you guys tuning in. Any questions you have below about what I'm up to or anything, my opinions on anything, feel free to ask them, and I'd love to share. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Peace.